For this video, I will be discussing maritime forests in Southwest Florida. I will talk about topography and hydrology that has helped shape this forest community and what humans have done to manage this forest community. This video will cover trees such as the sea hibiscus, the Australian pine, the Brazilian pepper, the buttonwood, mangroves, red, black, white, coconut palm, cabbage palm, and sea grape. Now let's zoom into the area we will be talking about in this video. Here is Southwest Florida in Google Maps. The particular area we will be talking in reference to is Estero Bay. Here is a picture from a balcony in Hyatt Resort Hotel overlooking Estero Bay. And here is a picture of the bay from Weeks Fish Camp. Let us first talk about the Australian pine and the sea hibiscus. These two species are not native to Florida. Australian pine is a Category 1 invasive, and the sea hibiscus is a Category 2 invasive exotic. The Australian pine is a tall, single-trunked with reddish-brown bark that is rough, brittle, and peeling. The leaves have tiny scales whorled around a grayish-green branch, and they resemble pine needles. What makes a habitat? The elements of food, water, cover, and space make a habitat. All wildlife needs certain types of habitat in which to live. The best habitat is one that is most natural. Using native plants to simulate nearby habitat types will provide for the needs and attract the widest variety of wildlife in the area. The sea hibiscus is a large evergreen shrub with tan, smooth bark. Its leaves are heart-shaped. They have large yellow flowers in the day that turn red in the evening. The silver buttonwood is a native plant of Florida. The leaves are simple, alternate, leathery green and covered with a silvery gray pubescent. The bark is gray, scaly, and fissured. The buttonwood is in the same family as the mangroves and is a brackish to freshwater species with a high degree of salt tolerance, usually found on the outskirts of the mangrove line. The Brazilian pepper is a Category 1 invasive exotic, found either individually or in large groups. It is a large shrub, typically with hidden, short trunk in a thicket of branches. The leaves are evergreen, simple, alternate, with elliptical leaves. The fruit is a small red ball found in clusters. The cabbage palm is native. It has a straight trunk, can be either smooth or covered by old leaf sheaves. The leaf is a modified fan shape and has a V shape to it. Blending land and sea, mangroves form an interesting environment along our coastline. These hardy tropical plants are among the few trees that thrive in saltwater. These plants were once considered useless and now are highly valued. Their roots help stabilize the shoreline and also filter pollutants. A variety of wildlife finds food and shelter in the mangrove forests. The black mangrove, found farther inland, has a dark to blackish bark and is surrounded by many finger-like roots. and its leaves taste salty because of special glands excrete extra salts. All mangrove leaves are simple and opposite. The red mangrove leaf is leathery, elliptic, dark green above and light green below. The black mangrove leaf is elliptic to lanceolate with green above and grayish below. One or both sides will have salt crystals. The white mangrove leaf is oval with green above and below. A distinguishing feature of the red leaf is the black dots. A distinguishing feature of the black leaf is the silvery underside of the leaf. A distinguishing feature of the white leaf are the pores along the leaf and the glands just below the base of the leaf blade. The white mangrove, farthest inland, has thick light green leaves that are the same color on both sides. As you can see from what I just said, there are glands at the base of the leaf blade which help it excrete excess sugars, and it has the pores at the end of the veins in the leaf to excrete salts. Plant communities are made up of different types of plants. The canopy consists of the tallest plants, and usually the most dominant, in this case, the mangroves. Trees often form the canopy. Understory plants, such as small trees and shrubbery, are usually subdominant and grow in the middle layers of the community. Grasses, ferns, and other ground covers form the ground layer as the lowest vegetation in the plant community. Animals are also found in different layers. Some live near the ground, while others stay higher in the trees. Plant communities that are sometimes covered by water are called wetlands. Water defines the types of soils, plants, and animals in a wetland community. Wetlands filter and purify water, replenish the underwater supply, and act as a natural sponge during flooding. Wetlands are also important for wildlife, providing shelter and a source for food and water. The coconut palm is a potentially invasive tree. Its trunk is tall, leaning, and is often curved upwards. It has large pinnate leaves up to 7 meters long. The flowers are small yellowish clusters, and the fruit is a large, hard, three-sided coconut. The sea grape is a tree or shrub with large orb-like evergreen, simple, alternate leaves that are green on both sides and have red veins. The sea grape produces a red or purple grape-like fruit on a long stem in a grape-like cluster. The red mangroves, closest to the water, has an arching prop root that makes it look as though the tree is walking across the surface of the water. Next we'll talk about the mangrove fruit. The red mangrove fruit is recognized by its size, being up to 30 centimeters long, fully grown, and they take around a year to grow. The black mangrove fruit is a flat, green pod about the size of a quarter, and the white mangrove fruit is a greenish to reddish, narrow at the base, widens towards the top of the fruit. Florida mangroves are estimated at 469,000 acres, which contribute to the overall health of the state's southern coastal zones. The ecosystem of mangroves helps to trap and cycle organic material, chemical elements, and important nutrients. They also provide a shelf for various marine life and also help trap and filter water around them. Mangroves create nesting grounds and rookeries for fish, shellfish, and coastal birds. They help with shoreline stabilization and serve as storm buffers. In 1996, Florida passed the Mangrove Trimming and Preservation Act, which will protect the mangroves by making it illegal to remove or cause destruction to the mangrove trees. You must get approval from the Department of Environmental Protection to trim any mangroves, and it must be done by a certified professional. Mangroves are one of Florida's true natives and are part of our state heritage. South Florida Water Management District has provided a mangrove replenishment project to hopefully spur the mangroves population within the next 15 to 30 years.